As we traverse the tumultuous journey of life, we inevitably encounter a diverse array of individuals, each bearing their own set of qualities. Through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, we identify 10 traits that warrant no admiration when exhibited by individuals. These traits, akin to sinister shadows, silently undermine the core of our inner peace and fortitude. Stoicism, with its emphasis on virtue and self-mastery, offers a lens through which we can discern the virtues and vices of those around us. The 10 traits unveiled through this philosophical perspective serve as warning signs, signaling potential threats to our emotional well-being and moral integrity. In the face of hypocrisy, arrogance, impulsiveness, and the like, Stoicism calls us to remain steadfast in our commitment to truth, humility, and self-control. By recognizing and acknowledging these negative traits in others, we can better protect ourselves from their corrosive influence, strengthening the fabric of our inner tranquility and resilience. Through the practice of Stoic principles, we empower ourselves to navigate life's tempests with clarity and composure, ensuring that the shadows of these undesirable traits do not dim the light of our inner strength and peace. Number 1. Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy, that insidious vice lurking in the shadows of virtue, is a concept as old as humanity itself. It is the embodiment of contradiction, the discordant symphony of words and deeds out of tune. In the annals of Stoic philosophy, hypocrisy stands as anathema to the very essence of what it means to live a life of integrity and authenticity. Epictetus, the revered Stoic philosopher, encapsulated this principle succinctly when he urged his followers, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." These words resonate through the ages, serving as a timeless reminder that true wisdom is not found in eloquent discourse alone, but in the lived experience of one's beliefs. To merely espouse lofty ideals while indulging in base desires is to wear the mask of hypocrisy, thus betraying the very essence of our moral principles. The Stoics understood that integrity is the cornerstone of virtuous living. It is the bedrock upon which trust is built, the currency of genuine human connection. When we fail to align our actions with our words, when we preach one thing and practice another, we sow the seeds of distrust in the hearts of those around us. Hypocrisy, in its essence, is a betrayal not only of others but of oneself, a denial of the values we hold dear, and a surrender to the whims of our lower nature. In the tapestry of human relationships, hypocrisy casts a dark shadow, poisoning the well of mutual respect and understanding. How can we expect others to take us seriously when our words ring hollow and our deeds belie our professed convictions? The Stoic sage Seneca aptly observed, "He who does not prevent a crime when he can, encourages it in remaining silent in the face of our own hypocrisy. We become complicit in its perpetuation, eroding the very fabric of our moral character." To combat hypocrisy, we must cultivate a steadfast commitment to authenticity in thought, word, and deed. We must strive to embody the virtues we profess, to let our actions speak louder than our words. This requires a willingness to confront the uncomfortable truths about ourselves, to acknowledge our flaws and shortcomings with humility and honesty. Number 2. Arrogance. Arrogance, that towering fortress of the ego, stands as a barrier to the wisdom that surrounds us. It is the veil that shrouds our vision, blinding us to the profound insights that others have to offer. In the realm of Stoic philosophy, Marcus Aurelius, the revered Roman emperor and Stoic sage, offers a poignant reminder: accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. At its core, arrogance is a refusal to acknowledge our own limitations and the inherent dignity of others. It is a misguided belief in our own superiority, a haughty dismissal of the perspectives and experiences of those around us. In our arrogance, we fail to recognize the interconnectedness of all beings, the intricate web of relationships that binds us together in a tapestry of shared humanity. Humility, on the other hand, is the antidote to arrogance, a willingness to approach life with an open heart and an open mind. It is the recognition that we are but small threads woven into the fabric of existence, each with our own unique role to play. Humility does not diminish our worth, rather, it allows us to recognize the inherent worth of others and to learn from their insights and perspectives. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, humility opens the door to learning and growth. When we approach life with humility, we are receptive to the wisdom that surrounds us. We recognize that true wisdom is not the exclusive domain of any one individual, but rather a collective treasure that is enriched by the contributions of all. Arrogance, on the other hand, closes the door to learning, trapping us in a prison of our own making. It blinds us to the beauty and richness of the world around us, leaving us isolated and alone in our self-imposed fortress of ego. Number 3, impulsiveness. Impulsiveness, like a sudden gust of wind, can wreak havoc on the tranquil waters of our minds. It is the precursor to rash decisions and reckless actions, driving us to navigate life's challenges without the compass of reason. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, no man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. Impulsive actions, born of fleeting emotions and unchecked desires, often lead us astray, steering us away from the path of wisdom and virtue. They are the storms that disrupt the calm seas of our minds, obscuring our judgment and clouding our vision. In the heat of the moment, we may act on impulse, heedless of the consequences that await us on the horizon. Seneca's admonition reminds us that adversity is not merely a trial to be endured, but an opportunity to grow and learn. It is through facing life's challenges with patience and deliberation that we prove the strength of our character and the depth of our resolve. Like a skilled navigator, we must chart our course with care, steering clear of the treacherous shoals of impulsiveness and steering towards the safe harbor of reason. Patience, the antidote to impulsiveness, allows us to weather the storms of life with a steady hand. It is the virtue that enables us to pause and reflect, to weigh our options carefully before taking action. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, first say to yourself what you would be and then do what you have to do. Through patience and deliberation, we can align our actions with our values, navigating life's challenges with clarity and purpose. Impulsiveness, by contrast, blinds us to the consequences of our actions, leaving us adrift in a sea of uncertainty. It is the enemy of reason and the ally of chaos, leading us down a path of recklessness and regret. To overcome impulsiveness, we must cultivate the virtue of patience, to pause, reflect, and act with intentionality in all that we do. Number 4, complaining. Complaining, that incessant chorus of discontent, is a futile resistance against the immutable tide of reality. It is the futile attempt to bend the world to our will, a fruitless endeavor that only serves to deepen our sense of frustration and powerlessness. In the eyes of the Stoic philosophers, complaining is the antithesis of acceptance, a refusal to embrace what we cannot change. Marcus Aurelius, the revered Roman emperor and Stoic sage, offers a profound insight into the nature of adversity. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. These words, steeped in wisdom, remind us that every obstacle we encounter in life presents an opportunity for growth and transformation. Instead of lamenting our circumstances, we must embrace them with courage and resilience, knowing that they are the crucible in which our character is forged. Complaining, however, is a drain on our precious energy and resources. It is a distraction that diverts our focus from constructive action and saps our motivation to effect positive change. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them. Complaining perpetuates a cycle of negativity, reinforcing our perception of ourselves as victims of circumstance. To break free from the grip of complaining, we must cultivate the virtue of acceptance, to acknowledge our circumstances with equanimity and grace. This does not mean resignation or passivity, but rather a recognition of the inherent limitations of our control. By accepting what we cannot change, we liberate ourselves from the burden of futile resistance, freeing up our energy and resources to focus on what we can influence. Number 5. Envy. Envy, that green-eyed monster that lurks in the shadows of our minds, is a poison that corrodes the soul, leaving behind a bitter residue of resentment and discontent. It is the insidious whisper that tells us we are lacking, that we are somehow inferior to those who possess more than us. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Envy, by its very nature, is a manifestation of scarcity mentality, a belief that there is not enough to go around, that someone else's success diminishes our own. It blinds us to the abundance that surrounds us, preventing us from appreciating the blessings that we have been bestowed with. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Gratitude, on the other hand, is the antidote to envy, a recognition of the countless gifts that we have been given, both big and small. It is the acknowledgement that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in the richness of our relationships and experiences. When we cultivate an attitude of gratitude, we cultivate a spirit of contentment and inner peace, warding off the corrosive nature of envy. In a world that constantly bombards us with messages of scarcity and lack, it can be challenging to resist the pull of envy. However, by consciously choosing to focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we can free ourselves from the grip of envy and embrace a life of abundance and fulfillment. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius reminds us, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Number 6. Dishonesty. Dishonesty, the subtle poison that corrodes the fabric of trust, is a betrayal of the highest order. It fractures the bonds that hold society together, eroding the foundation of integrity upon which all meaningful relationships are built. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. At its core, dishonesty is a violation of our moral compass, a departure from the path of truth and righteousness. It is a betrayal not only of others but of ourselves, a surrender to the temptations of expediency and self-interest. In the pursuit of short-term gain, we sacrifice the long-term trust and respect that are the cornerstones of genuine human connection. Epictetus' admonition serves as a timeless reminder of the importance of integrity in all our actions and words. A life of honesty, he teaches, cultivates respect and fortifies our moral foundation. It is a commitment to truthfulness and transparency, even when it is inconvenient or uncomfortable. Honesty, far from being a mere virtue, is the bedrock upon which all other virtues are built. It is the currency of trust in our relationships, the glue that binds us together in mutual respect and understanding. Without honesty, there can be no genuine connection, no meaningful exchange of ideas or emotions. Moreover, dishonesty carries with it a heavy burden, a constant fear of discovery, a nagging sense of guilt and shame. It is a weight that drags us down, sapping our energy and eroding our self-esteem. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, a good character, when established, is not easily overthrown even by excessive wrongdoing, but a bad character, when once established, is not easily changed even by good action. Number 7. Self-pity. Self-pity, that dark abyss of despair, is a trap that ensnares us in feelings of helplessness and victimhood. It is the voice that whispers in our ear, telling us that we are powerless to change our circumstances, that we are doomed to suffer endlessly. In the words of the Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. At its core, self-pity is a surrender to defeat, a relinquishing of our agency and resilience in the face of adversity. It is a refusal to acknowledge the power that lies within us, the power to choose our thoughts and attitudes, regardless of external circumstances. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them. Marcus Aurelius' admonition serves as a powerful reminder that true strength lies not in succumbing to self-pity, but in rising above our circumstances with grace and fortitude. It is a call to reclaim our agency, to recognize that we have the power to shape our own destinies through the choices we make and the attitudes we adopt. By refusing to indulge in self-pity, we tap into a wellspring of resilience and inner strength that enables us to weather life's storms with courage and dignity. Moreover, self-pity is a self-perpetuating cycle, a downward spiral of negativity that only serves to deepen our sense of despair. When we wallow in self-pity, we reinforce the belief that we are victims of circumstance, powerless to effect change in our lives. This mindset robs us of the motivation and energy we need to overcome obstacles and pursue our goals. To break free from the grip of self-pity, we must cultivate the virtue of resilience, to recognize our inherent capacity to bounce back from adversity, to embrace the challenges that life presents us as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. We must learn to reframe our experiences in a more empowering light, seeing setbacks as temporary setbacks rather than insurmountable obstacles. Number 8. Irresponsibility. Irresponsibility, that slippery slope of neglect, undermines the very foundation of duty and reliability. It is the abdication of responsibility, the refusal to honor our commitments and obligations to ourselves and others. In the eyes of the Stoics, duty was not merely a burden to be borne, but a sacred trust to be upheld. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus aptly reflects, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. At its core, irresponsibility is a betrayal of trust, a failure to fulfill the promises and obligations that bind us to our roles and responsibilities. It is a rejection of the Stoic principle of duty, which holds that we have a moral obligation to act in accordance with our principles and values, regardless of the personal cost. In shirking our responsibilities, we not only erode our own reliability, but also undermine the fabric of trust that holds society together. Epictetus' insight reminds us that true wealth lies not in the accumulation of material possessions, but in the cultivation of inner contentment and fulfillment. It is the recognition that our true worth is not measured by the size of our bank accounts or the number of possessions we accumulate, but by the depth of our character and the integrity of our actions. Responsibility, by contrast, anchors us in our roles and fosters a sense of purpose. It is the recognition that we are part of something greater than ourselves, that our actions have consequences that ripple outward through the fabric of society. Responsibility compels us to act with integrity and accountability, to honor our commitments and fulfill our obligations, even when it is inconvenient or challenging. Moreover, responsibility is the cornerstone of reliability, a trait highly valued in both personal and professional relationships. When we demonstrate a willingness to take ownership of our actions and follow through on our commitments, we earn the trust and respect of those around us. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, it is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness. Number 9. Intemperance. Intemperance, that insatiable hunger for more, leads us down a perilous path of excess and chaos. It is the unchecked pursuit of pleasure and gratification, regardless of the consequences. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. At its core, intemperance is a rejection of moderation, a refusal to abide by the golden mean that ensures balance and harmony in our lives. It is a voracious appetite that knows no bounds, consuming everything in its path and leaving behind a trail of destruction and regret. In succumbing to intemperance, we forfeit our ability to find contentment and fulfillment in the present moment, instead chasing after fleeting pleasures that ultimately leave us feeling empty and unfulfilled. Seneca's admonition serves as a sobering reminder of the true nature of wealth and poverty. True wealth, he teaches, lies not in the accumulation of material possessions, but in the cultivation of inner contentment and tranquility. It is the recognition that happiness cannot be found in external things, but must be cultivated from within. Moderation, a key Stoic virtue, offers an antidote to the corrosive effects of intemperance. It is the practice of exercising restraint and self-control in all aspects of our lives, knowing when enough is enough and resisting the temptation to indulge in excess. Moderation allows us to find balance and harmony in our actions, ensuring that we do not become slaves to our desires but remain masters of our own destiny. Moreover, moderation is the key to lasting happiness and fulfillment. When we learn to temper our desires and cultivate a sense of contentment with what we have, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of craving and dissatisfaction. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Number 10. Cowardice. Cowardice, that insidious spectre that haunts the corridors of our minds, is the antithesis of courage, a refusal to confront the challenges and responsibilities that life presents us. It is the instinct to flee from adversity, to shrink from the uncertainties that lie ahead. In the words of the Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius, the universe's change our life is what our thoughts make it. At its core, cowardice is a betrayal of our own potential, a surrender to fear and insecurity that robs us of the opportunity to grow and thrive. It is the voice that whispers in our ear, telling us that we are not strong enough, not capable enough, not worthy enough to face the trials that life throws our way. In succumbing to cowardice, we relinquish our power to shape our own destinies, allowing ourselves to be buffeted by the winds of fate. Marcus Aurelius' command serves as a powerful reminder of the role that our thoughts play in shaping our reality. Our lives are not determined by external circumstances, but by the way we choose to perceive and respond to them. Courage in facing fears and uncertainties builds character and reveals the depth of our spirit. It is the willingness to step outside of our comfort zones, to embrace the unknown with open arms and a steadfast resolve. Courage, far from being the absence of fear, is the triumph over it. It is the willingness to act in spite of our fears, to stand tall in the face of adversity and uncertainty. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. By summoning the courage to confront our fears head-on, we unleash our full potential and unlock the hidden reserves of strength and resilience that lie within us. Moreover, courage is contagious, a beacon of inspiration that lights the way for others to follow. When we demonstrate courage in the face of adversity, we inspire those around us to do the same, creating a ripple effect of bravery and empowerment that spreads far and wide. In our journey through life, let us strive to embody the virtues espoused by the Stoics. Let us cultivate self-control, honesty, humility, patience, forgiveness, contentment, courage, contentment, magnanimity, and hope. By rejecting these 10 destructive traits, we forge a path toward inner peace and fortitude, becoming exemplars of the Stoic philosophy. In unity we rise above the shadows, finding strength and solace in the wisdom of the ancients.